Hello, my name is Amber Spring and I'm going to be your instructor for abnormal psychology this semester. I just wanted to take a few minutes and make a video kind of walking through the syllabus, hopefully clear up any questions that you might have as we go along. So I'm just going to minimize myself here. This is what the course will look like when you log in from Brightspace. Be sure to check the announcements often. This is something that I utilize quite frequently to give you any updates. Sometimes I'll give extensions or feedback on something that I've recently assigned, those kinds of things. So make sure that you're following everything in the announcements to be updated on anything that's going on in this course. In my class, I want you to use content here, the second option here on the tab at the top. And this is going to take you to all of the content for this class. If you're trying to just go to quizzes and discussing questions, etc., you're probably going to miss things. So make sure you are using this tab, not going to activities and trying to find things. So from content, the first thing I'd like you to do is review the syllabus. So we're going to click here on syllabus. I have the option here to either click on the syllabus here. And if I scroll down here, it gives me the option to download it, or I can just see it here. I am going to go ahead and show you where I have downloaded it so it shows a little bigger. So this first section here is just the words that we have to use to describe the course. Here is my contact information. My office is actually in Student Health Services. I work at the college full-time as a counselor. I'm an adjunct, which means that I teach this course on top of my full-time job. So if you need to meet with me, and I am very happy to meet face-to-face with students, just know that you'll need to make an appointment so that I can put you on my schedule in a time that I have available. You are always welcome to text me. In fact, that's probably the best way to get a hold of me. This is my work cell phone number here, 399-1919. You can call me or text me, and also email. I'm going to do my best to get back to you within the next business day. Like I said, texting is my preferred method. Probably give you the quickest response, but my information is there should you need it. So this is the course objectives. This is just kind of what we're trying to accomplish over the course of the semester. Please read that so you're kind of familiar with what we're doing this year. The course materials that are required are the textbook, which is available in the bookstore. It looks like this. It's purple on the front. I believe there are several used copies of that book at the bookstore. If you have ordered that from an online source and it's not here yet, I have downloaded the first couple of chapters. I'll show you that in a second, but I'm not going to do that throughout the semester. You have to purchase a book for this course. The other thing that is required is access to the internet and Brightspace. Because it's an online course, you're going to need that. Next is the criteria for grading. You can see here the things that I've assigned over the course of the semester, how many of those assignments we'll have, what the points are assigned to each of those, and how much percentage those particular things contribute to your final grade. I don't assign minuses and pluses in this class. You either have an A, B, C, D, or F. Here's the point breakdowns there. So if you've earned 1,800 or more points in this class, you'll have an A. 1,600 or more points will have a B, etc. If for any reason I've decided to cut or add an assignment over the course of the semester, I will update the syllabus and I will repost it here. So I will let you know about that in the announcements if that is something I choose to do. So your chapter quizzes are going to be out of the textbook. There are 16 chapters in our textbook. There is 1 week where I'm combining 2 things because we only have 15 weeks in the semester and we have 16 chapters in our book. All of our quizzes are going to be 15 multiple choice questions that are worth 2 points each. You'll have 30 minutes to complete the quiz. You can take it an unlimited number of times, and only the highest grade that you earn on that particular chapter is going to be recorded into the grade book. Those questions come from a large question bank, so you're going to have different questions each time, but it's a good way to kind of quiz your knowledge and see how well you've learned the content for that particular chapter. Those questions or similar questions will be what will be on your multiple choice section of your tests. The second thing that I have in this course are what I call R&Rs, which stands for regurgitation and reflection. This is really a combination between quizzing you about the knowledge that you've gained from whatever I've assigned to you, in addition to doing some reflection or some application of the knowledge that you're gaining from that assignment. So each week I'm going to have you be doing one R&R assignment. It's usually going to be associated with a chapter of your textbook, and those are going to vary from TED Talks, news articles, websites, videos, blogs, etc. That are allowing you to dive a little bit deeper into the various topics in your textbook, or if there's a topic that I feel like should have been covered that wasn't, I will probably put an R&R for that. So the regurgitation part is multiple choice, short answer, true, false, about what you read, wrote, or watched, etc. And the second part is a reflection. So those are going to be short answer, essay questions, reflections, application to your life, your education, your future career, etc. So similar to what you have in discussion questions in a lot of your courses, but this way I am the only person that is seeing them because they come through like a quiz. And so you won't be, obviously you won't have to respond to your peers. You can, if you choose to, be a little bit more personal in your responses, because I'm the only one that will read them. The R&Rs are worth 40 points. And they will not be timed, which will give you opportunity to watch the videos, read the websites, go back and forth if you need to. The next thing that I am doing is what I'm calling mini papers. In the past, I've done 3 to 5 page papers, 4 of them over the course of the year. It is a lot of grading on my part, and so I'm really kind of trying to shorten that while still giving you what my desired outcomes for that. I feel like it's really important for you guys to learn how to write in APA format, learn how to cite sources, learn how to give me information that you've learned, and also form your own opinions, etc. on that. So I'm going to be trying to teach those concepts in those mini papers without having you have to write so much. The next part is tests. So our tests are broken up into 2 parts. One is multiple choice, and those are the things that are going to come from your quiz, from your textbook, etc. The other section is going to be short answer. Those are going to be more like short essay questions. Typically will come from your R&R assignments or your papers, but there may be something on there that is just content from that chapter that I want you to expand on and think a little bit more about. The short answer part of your test will be worth 40% of your test grade, and the multiple choice will be worth 60% of your test grade, so 100 points total, and the tests combined will be about 20% of your course grade. Finally is your final paper, which will be worth 10% of your grade. For your final paper, you are going to be able to choose a movie from a list that I have put together. You're going to watch it, and then utilizing the information that you've learned about different mental health diagnoses, you're going to construct an analysis of that character's mental health and tell me a variety of things. What diagnosis you would give them, what symptoms they have present that led you to that diagnosis, how their mental health may be affecting their relationships, their professions, etc. There's a whole host of things that I'm going to have you show me that you understood from all of the things that we're covering in this class and applying them to a movie character. I will be posting those instructions, a grading rubric, and that should say APA. I will fix that. APA requirements in Brightspace likely in November. I want you to have had an opportunity to have learned about all the mental health diagnoses before I have you pick a movie. Unlike everything else in this class, your final paper is going to be due the last Friday of finals week by 5 p.m. Everything else in this class is set up in a module. Those things are due every other Monday by 8 p.m. The only exception to that is Labor Day. So instead of those being due on that Monday, I've given you an extra day. Those will be due Tuesday by 8. But otherwise, that's always going to be a Monday due date, except for the final, which is on Friday. So I do have various expectations in this course, in terms of you having some word processing software. I cannot read papers that are submitted in WordPad, Notepad, things like that. You need to be using Microsoft Office or another word processing software, and then uploading your papers, those mini papers and that final paper in that format so that I'm able to grade it, see it, give you feedback. If you have a 504 or have had an IEP in the past, I just wanted to make you aware of our Disability Services Office. She will contact me and let me know if you need extended time on tests or that kind of thing. I also wanted to make sure that I covered this. As a counselor, I know that discussing mental health issues may be personally relevant to many of you, and some of the information that we cover this semester may even be triggering. So make sure that you're looking over the course schedule and the chapter content pretty carefully. Make yourself aware of those topics and their timing. You know, if your thoughts or issues around the content become overwhelming, you know, certainly I would encourage you to talk with accessibility services or counseling services, which happens to be me. I also welcome those discussions. If you're uncomfortable seeking counseling, talking to me as your counselor because I'm also your instructor, our nurse, Wanda Meredith, is very comfortable, and I've asked her, you know, to be that person if I have students who aren't wanting to come and talk to me. I do think that you'll find that I'm very fair, and I've had many students over the years be both my student as well as my client here. So I am using a late policy, which I have not done in the past. You do have a due date, as I mentioned before, of those every other Mondays by 8 p.m. If your assignment is 24 hours or less late, I will deduct 10%, one letter grade. If it is submitted by Wednesday at 8 p.m., it'll be 48, that 48-hour time period. I will deduct 2 letter grades, etc. Anytime after a week of the due date, I'm going to be deducting 50%. So at that point, I won't deduct any more than that. So if you're turning it in 3 weeks late, I'm still going to deduct the 50%. But just know, after a week late, I don't know how much good it's really doing you to do that work, knowing that that test has probably come up or has already passed. So try as best as you can to get your work in late. If you feel like you have an excuse as to why your work was late, you know, you had an emergency, you had something come up, please talk with me. If I feel like it was beyond your control, I will not deduct those letter grades. But if I feel like it was just poor planning or that type of thing, I will hold to this late work policy. Be aware of other resources on campus, Brightspace, tutoring, ITS accessibility. This just goes over the integrity policy. Plagiarism is very not accepted by me, especially as a person who's pretty stringent on using citations, etc. If you have questions about that, let me know. And then finally, here's our course schedule. So this, for the most part, I'm going to try to stick with this. Every once in a while, I have some changes that come up. So, you know, I do have the right to be flexible in this a little bit. But for the most part, I want you to think about completing one chapter every week. So chapter 1 this week, chapter 2 next week, so that you're staying on track. I've given you these 2-week module due dates because I'm trying to be flexible. There are some people that are probably going to go this week and get all the work done for these next 2 weeks of assignments, and there are others of you that might wait until the Sunday that they're due and try to jump in and get everything done. I try not to judge that as long as you're meeting the due dates, but just know that there are some times when there's a lot of work to do, so putting it off to the very last date I would not recommend. You're going to have a chapter quiz, an R&R for every chapter in the book, in addition to those mini papers and tests. So just be aware of all of that. You'll see when we get down here to Module 5, I've combined these 3 chapters into this module. So your quiz will combine 2 chapters and your R&R will combine 2 chapters. This, again, was just to fit everything into the schedule. So that is the syllabus. If you have any other questions about anything, please feel free to call, text, email, stop by. Otherwise, just follow along here. So here's Module 1. This is what it's going to look like on your side. There's an introduction, some quizzes, the R&Rs. I'll have the mini paper posted on here by tomorrow. So as long as you're following along and completing those things, you should be good to go. Again, if you have any questions over the course of the semester, please don't hesitate to stop by.